In this episode, I'm going to share with you the psychology behind why people buy or don't buy what you have and what you can do to move people in the direction that you want them to go in. Hi, I'm Devin Rodriguez, and for those of you that maybe this is your first time listening to this, hello. I am the founder of Storypreneur, a company where we train entrepreneurs all over the globe on how to leverage the power of storytelling to master the art of selling one to many so that they can scale with ease. And today, I want to teach you and talk to you about something that is really important to me. And a lot of this material I got from a mentor of mine, Bob Proctor. He had coached me for about a year before unfortunately passing away. But one of the biggest things that I took away from him is I asked him once, I said, Bob, I'm not getting the results. People not selling. People are not buying. What is happening? He says, because you don't understand the reason why. And he went on to break down the true reasons why people were not buying. And it went into the psychology of people. It hadn't to do with how to overcome this objection or use this close or do this or do that. He broke down the mind. The reason why this is so important is because this will show you why storytelling is so important in your sales process, especially when you're selling one to many, webinar, masterclass, from a stage, whatever. Or if you don't even have a product to sell, you just want to inspire and impact people, you have to understand this information that I'm about to lay out. So with that being said, we have one big brain, one mind. But within that mind, it's broken down into two different compartments. Some people say two different minds. On one end, we have our conscious mind. This is what we call our thinking mind. And I'm going to break down for you the two different minds, quote unquote, that we have, or the two different compartments within our mind. I'm going to tell you the different attributes to each one. So the conscious mind is what we call the thinking mind. It's the reasoning mind. It's our intellectual mind. It's the one when you're in school and you're trying to decipher that mathematical equation. That's your conscious mind doing the thinking for you. It's when you taste the food and you're like, ooh, God, that was nasty, or ooh, that was really good. That's your conscious mind. It's when you see a really beautiful car and you think, whoa, that's awesome. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind are the thoughts that you are aware of. Now, there's some really unique features to the conscious mind, and two of which is that the conscious mind is where ideas originate. This is where you create ideas. Why? Because let me put it to you this way. The world provides us with stimuli, news, social media. Social media is the hugest one. So we have all of these different stimuli coming at us at once, and it's coming all into our mind. Now, there's another function to the conscious mind, which is so important as this. The conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject any idea that comes to it or anything that comes to it. So let's say somebody tells you that you're really ugly. Let somebody tell you that you're not good at what you do. You don't have to take that as being true. You have the conscious decision to make of whether I want to believe that that is true or not. So your conscious mind can accept it or it can reject it. So whatever your conscious mind accepts turns into an idea. And eventually that idea will be turned into an emotion through repetition. Now, here's the thing. Let's say somebody tells you you're not good at your work. Okay, great. Somebody tells you that once. It's not really going to affect you. It's not going to become a belief of you. But if somebody constantly tells you that, and if you have multiple people telling you that, repeating that, then it becomes a belief that you hold, because your ideas that you consistently impress on your conscious mind will then be transmitted through the power of emotion to your subconscious mind. So let's talk a little bit about the subconscious mind. On one hand, the conscious mind is what we call the thinking mind. The subconscious mind is what we call the emotional mind. The emotional mind, this is where the feelings live. This is when we get that, we take that, oh, yes. Oh, that cookies and cream milkshake. Golly, it tastes so good. When you're driving by Chick-fil-A and you're like, no, I'm on my diet, but then you have to go into the drive-thru and get your cookies and cream milkshake. Now, we think that that's a conscious thought, but where does that conscious thought come from? From our deep-seated subconscious belief that that is more important to us than our goal of losing weight. So how it works is a stimuli comes to us and it sparks our imagination. So anything that sparks our imagination, the imagination lives in the conscious mind. So the imagination stimulates our conscious mind and it says, hey, buddy, you have the ability to accept or reject this idea that just got stimulated in my imagination. Most of the time, since we are not aware of the different capabilities of the conscious mind, we just accept everything that comes to us. Because if we don't consciously reject, it automatically accepts. So our imaginations are stimulated with new thoughts. And then those thoughts form ideas. Those ideas form emotions, and those emotions form beliefs. And those beliefs are stored in our subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind cannot reject anything. It can simply accept what is given to it. The conscious mind can accept or reject. Most of us, though, because we don't know this information, we just accept everything, not understanding that we don't have to take what other people tell us is true. We don't have to take what it says in social media is true. But most of the time we accept it. The subconscious mind accepts everything. And this is the key. When the subconscious mind is given an order, then it executes on that order and proves you right. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say one day your imagination was stimulated by somebody that told you that you're really bad at what you do. Because you didn't know that you can reject that and consciously say, no, damn it, I don't believe it. Your conscious mind accepts it, that you are no good at what you do. Then you begin to emotionalize that. You start to feel a little off, a little funny. And then eventually it becomes a deep-seated belief because you kept on thinking the same thought with repetition that you are not good at what you do. Now it's a belief. So what does the subconscious mind do? The subconscious mind then finds situations, experiences, and puts things in place for you to confirm that belief that I'm not good at what I do. So what does that look like? It looks like you preparing a class and not following through on it. It looks like you preparing the class, but then not being able to deliver it well because you didn't prepare. It looks like any situation where you confirm that belief. That's what the subconscious mind does. It provides you with situations to confirm the belief that you hold to be true of you. Now, why is this important in terms of sales? If we want people to buy what we have, if we want to influence, if we want to persuade, if we want to just move people to make a decision, whatever that decision may be, product or not, don't matter, we have to understand that we have to change the belief. And the belief that people hold is subconscious. They don't know about these beliefs. So how do we do that? How do we change these deep-seated beliefs? Well, let's talk about, and let me remind you of how a belief became a belief. First, our imagination was triggered by an outside stimulus. Then that imagination formed a thought. The thought became an emotion. The emotion became a belief. So if we want to program ourselves with new beliefs, what do we have to do? Or if we want to help other people instill new beliefs within them, what do we have to do? Number one, we have to activate their imagination. This is why storytelling is so powerful, because storytelling is the number one form of communication that will stimulate a person's imagination. I want you to think about Picasso. Picasso had a canvas, and he would paint on that canvas with his brush. You and I are Picasso. We might not have a literal canvas and a brush, but the canvas is the minds of our audience that are listening to us as we speak. And our paintbrush are our words. Now, this is the thing. The human mind interprets things in images. So we have to have the ability to paint what we call word pictures. Now, how do we paint word pictures? Through stories. Because stories enable somebody in their imagination to form a mental picture of what is happening. Whereas if you just tell them some type of information and you just spew it at them, it doesn't paint a picture. It doesn't form an image. It literally does not work with human nature. So what we're sharing about how to grow your business with storytelling is literally how to use human nature to help you sell more of what you have or influence and persuade in a better way so that we can help more people. So the first thing we do is we stimulate the imagination through a story, where people live vicariously through our experience. They feel like they're in the experience. Once we stimulate their imagination, then that's going to lead to them thinking new thoughts. And our job is to consistently and repetitively have people think those thoughts. Why? Because when they think those thoughts, they're going to expand the vision that they have of themselves. And when they begin to expand the vision that they have of themselves and they see this new possibility where they don't have to be broke anymore and they could live abundantly and abundance is their birthright, then that becomes an emotion. I want you to feel it. How good does that feel? You ever see Tony Robbins? It's like, yes, take it in. How does that feel? Because he's anchoring you to that emotion. Once you hold that emotion and that emotion is reinforced with repetition, then it becomes a belief. And once you have a belief, it will be seated in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will do everything in its ability to act and make decisions that are in line with that belief. So if we want people to buy more of what we have to begin to ask is, number one, what is the belief that I need somebody to hold about themselves in order to take action? And then you say, in order for someone to have that belief, what is the emotion that they must first feel in order for them to take action? And then you say, in order for them to have that belief, in order for them to have that emotion, what's the thought that they need to have that will stimulate that emotion that will create that belief? And then you say, in order for them to have that belief, and in order for them to feel that emotion, and in order for them to think those thoughts, what story can I tell that will activate their imagination and create those thoughts? Do you see how incredible this is? This is what we call our subconscious storytelling system. Strategy. Every story, every word we speak is systematic and helps people deconstruct their old limiting beliefs and helps them install new empowering beliefs. We help people transform who they are so that someone doesn't have to be who they've always been. They could become who they know they've been called to be. So that is how the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are literally controlling. More so, the subconscious mind is controlling your buyers, your prospects, and those, maybe even you, in your business. And if you want to begin to take things to the next level, you have to begin speaking subconsciously to the other person. Follow these steps, apply them in your business, and I know that you'll see results. Adios. I hope that you found this valuable. What is the belief that you got to install inside of the people on your presentations so that they can take action and transform into the person that they know they can be?